This is BBC One. Now, a little later than scheduled for obvious reasons, Darren Jordon has the latest. BBC News.
Going for gold, London wins the race to stage the 2012 Olympic Games.
The International Olympic Committee has the honour of announcing that the Games of the 30th Olympiad in 2012 are awarded to the city of London.
We've done it!
Celebrations across the capital as it grabs the world's greatest sporting event. And disappointment in France as the favourite city, Paris, is pipped at the post. In Scotland, protesters clash with police just hours before the G8 summit starts. And Tony Blair arrives in Gleneagles to welcome the leaders of the world's richest countries.
The Olympic Games are coming to London. The city celebrates as the biggest party in decades gets underway. And from wasteland to wonderland, how the Games will transform the most deprived areas of East London.
Good afternoon. The world's greatest sporting event, the Olympic Games, will be staged in London in 2012. After a crunch vote in Singapore, London beat the favourites Paris and 3 other bidding cities. Thousands of people across the capital have been celebrating the city's victory. Well, let's cross straight now to Dermot Murnaghan, who's in Singapore. Dermot?
Thanks, Darren. Yes, after one of the closest races ever seen and hours of nail-biting tension, London will be hosting the 30th Olympic Games in 7 years' time, in 2012. After each of the 5 bidding cities made their final pitches to Olympic delegates here in Singapore, voting then began. Moscow, New York and Madrid were knocked out in the first 3 rounds, leaving London and Paris in a fight to the finish. And I've just got those voting numbers in. Paris in that final round got 50 votes, London 4 more, got 54. Well, Duncan Kennedy has been watching the morning's events.
The Olympic Committee has the honour of announcing that the Games of the 30th Olympiad in 2012 are awarded to the city of London.
With those words, with these reactions, the future of British sport has been changed forever. Sebastian Coe and his team simply could not believe it. The biggest sporting spectacle on the planet, back in London for the first time since 1948. They had set out on the Herculean task of bringing the Olympian dream to Britain, and it worked. The unbearably tense hours leading up to the announcement have been filled by the final lobbying and the final presentations of the host nations, all eager to impress any undecided Olympic Committee voters.
Un projet tourné vers l'avenir.
Starting with French President Jacques Chirac, each team spent 40 minutes trying to seduce the judges, producing Oscar-standard videos to sell their dreams. The city had been the long-time favourite and played to all its strengths.
Le cœur de Paris.
President Chirac speaking of Paris giving its heart to the Games. New York put on its own lavish production, courtesy of Steven Spielberg. Its bid never commanded widespread support, but Hillary Clinton's team still believe they could pull it off.
There are lots of stereotypes about Moscow and Russia.
Moscow was another city whose hopes were always ahead of its chances.
Today you have a unique and truly historic opportunity.
But not even President Putin's first public utterances in English looked like saving the day. And then came London. The climax of years of cajoling, canvassing and convincing had come down to these final words from the team's inspirational leader.
London's vision is to reach people, young people, all around the world.
London needed and gave a 5-star presentation for the 5-ringed Olympic prize.
It is a unique honour to act as host city. I also understand it is an honour which comes with a great responsibility.
Madrid made its pitch too, And for a time, there were rumours of it staging a last-minute breakthrough. But that was before the voting. In the space of 20 nail-reducing minutes, the first 3 results came through. It started with the aspirations of the Russian bid.
The city of Moscow will not participate in the next round.
Then came the vote the Americans had dreaded.
The city of New York will not participate in the next round.
And finally, it was the turn of Spain.
Madrid will not participate in the next round.
But it was London that triumphed, a victory that will now tap into the emotional DNA of the country, now embarking on a 7-year countdown to a moment of sporting and national pride. Duncan Kennedy, BBC News.
Well, the Raffles Convention Centre behind me here in Singapore was where all that nail-biting tension took place. It was also where all the high-profile supporters of the London bid were gathered waiting for the result. And Hazel Irvine is with one of them. Hazel.
I am indeed. David Beckham, an East End boy from the heart of London. You've won many prizes in your life, but how does this one compare?
It's definitely up there with the top because, you know, feeling the tension in the room there was incredible. You know, I think we all got bad feelings when we saw the film crews and the cameras over on the Paris side, but when our name come out, you know, I don't think I've ever had a feeling like it, apart from winning, obviously, European Cup finals, things like that, but, you know, it's hard to put it into words.
You have friends and family clearly in the East End of London. What do you think it means to them and for the whole community in that area?
You know, it's the type of thing that when it happens like that, you get goosebumps and your hairs stand up on the back of your neck. And, you know, I've got a lot of friends and family, but this is going to do so much for our country, not just obviously the East End and London. You know, for our country, it inspires so many children to go out there and, you know, they can go and watch an Olympics. I can take my children to watch an Olympics in where I was brought up. So, you know, it's an amazing feeling.
And in terms now of your participation, you've been a very keen ambassador for the bid. What will you continue to do up to 2012?
Well, I've already been speaking to the mayor about it, and you know, I'm going to do as much as I can because it's been, as I said, it's been an honour being involved in this bid, and now we've got it. You know, there's a lot of work now to be done. We've got quite a few years, but you know, there's still a lot of work to be done, and I'll carry on doing the work that I can and doing as much as I can.
Congratulations to you and all the other ambassadors, and I'm sure Raoul might have a few things to say when you get back to Madrid.
Thank you. Fine.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Hazel, thanks very much indeed. Well, the crowds were gathering from the early morning in Trafalgar Square to listen to that result. Sian Williams is with them. Sian, what's the party like?
Well, the party's in full swing here, as you can probably see. They think there are about 10,000 people here in the centre of London in Trafalgar Square. It's a thank you party, really. Thank you to London, thank you to the rest of the UK for supporting the 2012 bid. And they've been entertained by a lot of pop stars. Heather Small was singing the 2012 anthem, Proud. And all eyes, though, at 12:46 were on those big screens behind us. James Westhead watched the run-up to the decision.
They've been counting down to the vote all morning in Stratford, East London, where the Olympic Stadium and Village would be built, transforming the area. Pupils at local schools helped prepare the bid and even featured in the final video. Some might even take part in 2012. This morning they were setting off for celebrations in Trafalgar Square, full of hope.
I think it would be really exciting to just have all those fantastic athletes here with us in the city. Just watching them compete would just be amazing.
It would be great for the area, the environment. To even go watch it would be, you know, incredible.
In Trafalgar Square, crowds gathered for the party and to watch the results coming in, full of nerves and expectation. Then, once voting started, the tension built. First, Moscow and New York were knocked out, and then in the third round, Madrid.
It's coming down to London against Paris.
Relief in Stratford, but then a nerve-wracking final hour as just London and arch-rivals Paris were left head-to-head.
Come on, London!
Paris is good, but London is the best.
And how right he was when the result finally came through.
Awarded to the city of London.
We've done it! London have won it!
Trafalgar Square erupted, scenes of joy and jubilation. After all the hard work, it seemed almost unbelievable they really had won.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, really, the feeling of it, because the Olympic spirit is so passionate, you know, and I think the country is just going to do wonders for everybody, and especially like the youth of today. I think it's just going to change our country around so much.
But for now, the party has only just begun, celebrating a truly momentous victory. James Westhead, BBC News.
Indeed, the party really only just started. It's probably going to be going on until the early hours of the morning. A few minutes ago, actually, Dermot, the Prime Minister addressed the crowd from Gleneagles. He said he was so delighted that London had won the games, and he said the work starts right now.
Absolutely. Sian, thanks very much indeed. Well, in Paris, excitement soon turned to disappointment for the crowds gathered to watch the result there. The city has long been the front runner in the Olympic race and has been praised for its sports facilities and public transport. Alan Little is in Paris for us now. And Alan, the favourites foiled at the last.
Well, just as in Trafalgar Square, the people gathered here, 10, 12, 14,000. They came for a party. They really thought they were going to do it. They were tremendously proud of their Olympic bid team, and it really won popular affection as well as support here. And when that announcement was made, it hit the crowd here almost with the force of a physical blow, and they simply cannot believe what has happened.
Paris had waited not 4 years, but 8, for it had bid and lost last time round. As the moment approached, the crowds gathered at the Hôtel de Ville, the city hall and cockpit of the French Olympic dream. The nation held its breath. For years, they'd been the front-runner, the clear and undisputed favourite. Disappointment, astonishment were written on every face. France will be mystified by this. Popular support for the bid was not Paris's only selling point. Readiness was another great strength. The magnificent 80,000-seat Stade de France was to have been the centrepiece of the 2012 Games. It will go on being the focal point of French sporting pride, but the Olympic Games will not now be written into its story. The Paris bid was tremendously popular. Parisians genuinely wanted the Games. France, after all, invented the modern Olympic movement, and the French as a whole wanted, indeed expected, to bring the Games home.
Well, think of the context in which this has happened as well. This is a country badly in need of a morale boost. Its economy is in a mess, its political leaders are unpopular and perceived to be without direction. France needs something about which it can feel good about itself. Winning the Olympics would have done that. Not winning them has been a tremendous blow. Dermot.
Thanks, Alan. Well, the London 2012 team haven't stopped smiling since the announcement was made. They've been slapping backs and shaking hands, and of course they now take on the huge responsibility of organising the world's greatest sporting event. In a few minutes they'll take part in the official presentation ceremony. That's alongside the president of the Olympic movement, Jacques Rogge. We'll have more on London's victory a bit later in the programme, but for now, let's get back to Darren in the studio. Darren.
All right, Dermot, thank you for that. Well, more now on our top story, and the world's greatest sporting event, the Olympic Games, will be coming to London in 2012. Just over half an hour ago, the head of the Olympic movement made his announcement.
The International Olympic Committee has the honour of announcing that the Games of the 30th Olympiad in 2012 are awarded to the City of London.
In London, there were jubilant scenes in Trafalgar Square, where thousands of people have gathered to watch the result. And in Paris, excitement turned to disappointment as the city lost the race once again. Well, Dermot Murnaghan is still in Singapore, and our sports correspondent James Monroe is at Stratford in East London. James, first to you.
Darren, I think part of the success of the London bid was that it was sold on youth, passion and diversity, and certainly this afternoon in Stratford we have seen plenty of all of that. Real scenes of celebration, joined by Tessa Sanderson, an Olympic gold medalist, a local and a London bid ambassador. Your reaction?
It's fantastic. I could not believe it today. Although I wanted to believe it when I first woke up this morning, I felt nervous, I felt sick as I was going to compete again in the Olympic Games, but it's great.
What does it mean for these people? What does it mean for the kids around here?
A number of things. Regeneration of sport, kids who's often wanted to take part in sport, they'll get the opportunity, the legacy. You know, it's just going to be great. You know, it's going to be an opportunity for mass participation, especially this side.
And your job starts right now, 7 years to go. Tessa, thank you very much indeed. Just a sense for you of what this means. It's a multi-billion-pound regeneration, something in the region of 9,000 jobs, 3,000 extra new homes, and a legacy for the children of Stratford and East London. No wonder they're still celebrating here. Darren.
Indeed, James, thank you very much indeed. Well, let's have a final word now with Dermot Murnaghan in Singapore. Dermot, it's been a real battle to the finish, hasn't it?
It certainly has, Darren. A day of drama and tension here in Singapore where that voting took place. Paris went into the race as the favourite, but in the end, the members of the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, I think they chose the star treatment offered by the London bid team over the last few days, shipping in the likes of David Beckham, over the rather low-key approach of Paris that we're trying to live down that favourite's mantle. London's bid has been years, of course, in the planning, but the hard work has only just begun, as we've been hearing. Now have to deliver all those stadiums, all those facilities that London has said it's going to build. They've got 7 years to make those promises a reality. But for tonight, here in Singapore, the champagne, I suspect, is flowing for everyone involved in that London bid team. Some real celebrations there. Back to you, Darren.
Dermot, enjoy it. Thank you. And there'll be full coverage of all the reaction to London's win on BBC News 24 and here on BBC One at 2:15. Let's get a check on all the weather now. Here's Elizabeth Shari. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Darren. Well, so far the worst of the rain has held off from London, but you may get some a little later on. We do have some quite heavy rain around at the moment across eastern parts of the UK. It's been circulating around eastern Scotland, down through eastern England as well. These radar images showing where we've seen the worst of that rain during the morning. Now, that rain is still going to be sticking around across the eastern side of Scotland into this afternoon, so west is best, really, if you want to catch a bit of sunshine. And that band of rain is down through the northeast of England. It's going to be hanging around here. Some brisk winds as well, keeping things rather cool on the coast. Some hefty showers already beginning to turn up across East Anglia. I think they'll continue into this afternoon. But as we head further south and indeed further west in the UK, you can see the showers become fewer and further between. In fact, most places towards the south and the west will be dry through the rest of this afternoon. You may even get a hint of sunshine in a few places. Not feeling warm though, even where the sun does come through. We've got a brisk northwesterly wind blowing, keeping things rather cool. Highs there in Belfast of around about 14 or so. Now, we do have some patchy rain out towards the west, and that will begin to spread across Northern Ireland through this evening and overnight. Meanwhile, that main area of rain, the more persistent and heavy stuff, will slip its way down towards the southeastern corner, and it's still going to be giving us some trouble, I think, towards the southeast as we go into tomorrow. So there'll be some heavy showers still lingering across many parts of eastern England into tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, the patchy rain towards the west will largely die out. In between, we should have some clear skies, a bit of sunshine coming through, and many places, I should think, will end tomorrow on a dry note. Temperatures maybe a fraction up on today at around about 20 degrees or so. But the temperatures will start to climb a little more by the time we get to Friday. So we'll be looking at 22 or 23, a bit more sunshine, I think, for many of us. And that's a hint of what's to come. We are looking at a warmer, sunnier weekend in store. Darren.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Now, a reminder of our top story.
London. We've done it. London have won it.
Thousands celebrate in London after the city wins the bid to stage the Olympic Games in 2012. And that's all from the 1 o'clock news this lunchtime. So it's goodbye from me, and we can now join the BBC's news teams across the United Kingdom.
Welcome to BBC London News. It's an historic moment for our city. Jubilant crowds are celebrating the announcement that the Olympic Games will be staged here in 2012. There was an ecstatic reaction in Trafalgar Square when the news came through. Thousands of people, led by Kelly Holmes and the former Olympian Steve Cram, punched the air in delight. And there was joy at Waterloo Station. In Stratford, the party is just beginning. And somewhere amongst those crowds is Emily Maitlis. Emily.
Stupendous reaction here, Jill, from just a handful of people this morning in the early hours. It's grown to a crowd that spread right across the concourse. You can probably see them, you can certainly hear them. It's hard to overstate just what the Games will mean for this part of London. It's in dire need of regeneration, and this £2.4 billion boost could just about come in handy. Well, I'm going to talk to some of the crowd here who've been following the voting system faithfully right from the start. Let's get a bit of reaction from you guys. How you doing? How does it feel to have the Games here in London?
Feels fantastic, wonderful stuff. And also tell the Prime Minister, the French one, that we don't like French food either.
This is not about France, it's about London. Tell us what it
It would do it's great for Stratford. Sorry about that, France, but you know we've got it right here. You can tell us.
Tell us what it will do for you. What will it mean?
More people.
More people.
Publicity, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It'll work up here, innit?
So, are you going to be watching the games? Will you go and support them?
Of course I am. Hopefully. Everyone will be watching, innit?
How old am I going to be then?
Yeah, well, they're starting to work out the maths on that one already. But joining me now, a couple of fantastic Olympians, Jason and Jade. To you first, Jason Gardner, an Olympic gold medalist yourself. What does this mean for East London?
Oh, it's massive. It's not just about massive for East London, it's massive for the whole country. I mean, especially for the youngsters out there. I mean, it gives people the opportunity of, chasing their dream and competing on home soil. What a fantastic opportunity. If I had my time again, I'd be, loving every minute as an athlete and working towards those dreams.
And Jade, we've got to use our imagination now to imagine what this place will be like in 7 years' time. What are you thinking?
Right now I feel so worn out, I feel exhausted, I'm so excited. Firstly, let me just say I'm so happy. This is the best result it could have been. But I think this place is going to be turned into something absolutely spectacular. I think London was always going to put on the best bid. I think we're going to have the best stadium, the best facilities, and it's absolutely amazing for the youngsters coming through as well.
Thank you both. Fantastic to hear those voices. As you can hear behind me, the choir started. We've had children from local schools here all day, really bringing it up for this part of London. And it's not very often, Jill, that you see me speechless, but believe me, I'm getting there today.
You should have seen the newsroom, Emily. Thank you very much for the moment. Now, there's another party underway a few miles across town at Trafalgar Square. Mike Ramsden is there now for us. I know you can barely hear me, Mike. What have you got to tell us?
Yeah, that's right. There's been a big carnival band going past just a minute. Complete delight and excitement here as that announcement went up. Just think about the contrast to a year ago when nobody was thinking that London would probably do it. And here we are. We've got the London 2012 Games. Let's speak to James Bidwell, who's from Visit London, responsible for tourism here in London. First of all, your reaction.
What an amazing job the bid team have done, and what an amazing job the people of London have done. I mean, they have been fantastic in their support for London, and this is going to have a transformational effect on London. Fantastic.
What does this mean for tourism, one of our most important industries?
It's a really important industry. It's worth 15 billion a year, and it is going to be fantastic for tourism. For the first time in 10 years, we're growing the market share for London, and this is just going to build on that. We're the greatest city on the planet.
There are problems with London, with transport, with some of the quality of the hotels perhaps. There's a big job ahead, isn't there?
It's a big job, and in many ways the work starts now. But what is great is that, and this is particularly for London, is that it's 2012, we've got to have it done by then. So all the infrastructure and all the things that need to go into place are going to be ready for the Olympics in 2012.
What's your big move now? What's the big thing you're going to do for the next 6 years?
In the next 6 years, we're going to build on the reputation and the momentum that is behind London. And you can see a real confidence in London at the moment. After Live Aid at the weekend, Wimbledon, Gay Pride, there's stuff happening the whole time. Look at what we've just seen here in Trafalgar Square. I think we've got an amazing opportunity.
OK, James Bidwell from Visit London, thank you very much. And from the party in Trafalgar Square, back to you.
The party on the greatest city in the planet. Thanks very much, Mike. Well, the bid team's victory in Singapore means East London, as we know it today, will be unrecognisable in 8 years' time. Billions of pounds will be poured into one of the most deprived areas in Britain. Paul Curran has been looking into the legacy the 2012 Olympics will leave behind.
In theory, the work starts tomorrow on transforming the Lower Lee Valley, the area around Stratford. The planning permission has been granted, and this is how the Olympic Park could look in 2012.
We have the main swimming pool and the diving pool here. And
one of the first venues to be built will be this aquatic centre. It will host swimming, diving and water polo. It should be ready by 2008.
The two main pools with two kind of amplitudes of the wave. The diving pool and the main swimming pool. The water polo being kind of third element, kind of rippling out, which is a temporary structure.
The Olympic velodrome should also be ready in 3 years. It'll be built at the Lee Valley cycling circuit.
Here where we're standing, this will become part of Olympic Park and will house the majority of the Olympic facilities. Behind us there'll be the velodrome and the BMX facilities.
The Olympic Stadium and the landscaping of the Lower Lee will take longer and cost a lot of money. The London Development Agency has bought up land and can now compulsorily purchase areas it wants, but there may be legal challenges from affected businesses. The great advantage for the area, according to regeneration specialists like Clive Tritton, is that the Games bring a deadline.
What that can mean is
that you're dealing with the usual suspects. There's not the opportunity to take the time to work with local businesses, to give them the opportunity to bid into what we're doing in East London. And that's what's going to make this special for East London, is if we can have an Olympic delivery which maximises the engagement of local businesses and local people.
So there's an immense amount to do. 7 years seems a long time, but it will go very quickly. However, the result should be dramatic. Paul Curran, BBC London News.
Well, for a couple of weeks in 2012, London will be the centre of the sporting world. Hundreds of thousands of people will travel into the capital, and one of the busiest routes from Europe will be on the Eurostar. Tom Edwards is at Waterloo now for us. Tom.
Yes, well, there was just a moment after the announcement down here on the large screens behind me. There was a moment of disbelief, and then pandemonium broke out. Everyone started cheering. This was an incredible scene down here. People are genuinely over the moon that the Olympics are coming to London. Let's bring in Paul Charles from Eurostar. That was quite something, wasn't it?
Well, the party's still going on here, as you can hear. It was an unbelievable scene. It could have been either city. We were backing both at Eurostar. We're delighted London's won. We hope to be bringing a lot of French people over to London in 2012.
And obviously this is going to be good for yourselves, isn't it, in terms of business?
It should be good for business. We hope to be laying on extra services. We're confident that we'll have a great service running into and out of St Pancras by 2012. It's going to be wonderful for Eurostar.
And what struck me was the amount of support here. Passers-by, commuters, all getting involved. There is a real level of support here, it seems.
There were thousands of people here just half an hour to an hour ago watching the whole event. We've still got confetti all over the place here. The support was terrific, and even the French people coming off the trains are saying, well done, London.
Well, thanks very much. Well, I was in Paris this morning. They are going to be bitterly disappointed. Back to you.
Oh dear, thank you. Well, let's get more reaction now from Emily in Stratford. Emily, they've had a bit of time to get used to it all. What are they saying to you now?
Well, Jill, you can probably hear behind me, the gospel choir's just started up. So if you don't hear much from me, you'll have to take the rest on atmosphere and ambience, of which there is plenty, needless to say. For the first time today, we can finally stop saying if and say when. It's an enormous relief to everyone here, particularly those people whose lives will be touched by this bid and by the games themselves. Well, just to put that into context for us, Manny Lewis from the London Development Agency. Manny, you get a big cheer as well today. Everyone gets a big cheer. Tell us what this will mean for this part of London.
It's a great day for London. It's a great day for the UK. What this means, thousands of jobs, business growth, new homes, a green park, and most of all, the most fantastic World Olympic Games in this city. Unbelievable.
We certainly got quite a strong reaction here. Do you think this is what it's all about? They talked about inspiring the young people of tomorrow.
Absolutely. This is all about local communities. We're in one of the most deprived parts of the city. We want to see this part of London transformed over the next few years and give the benefit to people in this part of Great London.
Manny, thanks. Vocal cords running out there, Jill, but all in the best possible spirit. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Emily. The party continues. Now, the only thing that could improve on today is tropical temperatures. Peter, can you deliver?
Well, it's absolutely brilliant news, and there's some blue sky over there, but if you're planning a street party, I'd hang on to the weekend, where it's going to be warm as well as sunny. Now, we've got a lot of cloud over us at the moment, and quite a keen chilly wind as well. That'll blow a few showers our way through the day, and it's probably going to hold temperatures down just a tad, around about 20 degrees our top temperature today. Overnight tonight, we're likely to see some rain moving over the top of us, some more persistent rain, and that's probably going to be around for a wee while during tomorrow. But then high pressure moves in on Friday. It'll stay with us through the weekend. It'll clear the cloud away. It'll bring lots of sunshine, and gradually temperatures will pick up. So the sun with us starting to get in across us on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, perhaps up to 25 Celsius. Gillian, back to you.
OK, Pete, thank you very much. That's about it from me on the day that London won the vote to host the 2012 Olympics. The suspense during the run-up to the final announcement was excruciating, but worth the result. So the celebration supper tonight in Stratford, jelly deals, not a frog's leg in sight. We're back in East London at 6:30 with all the reaction. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.